If you haven't tried green buckwheat bread before, it's definitely worth discovering. What makes it special is the fermentation process, which breaks down starches and proteins and makes it more digestible for many people. Green buckwheat is naturally vegan, gluten-free, it is rich in fiber and has a high quality plant protein. So the process consists of 3 main steps: soaking, blending and fermenting. I start by weighing out 500 grams of raw green buckwheat, which yields 2 loaves of bread in the style of a Nordic seed and nut loaf. I cover the buckwheat with water and let it soak for at least 6 hours, ideally overnight. So it's been about 8 hours since I started soaking, and now I'm gonna drain it and rinse it very well and rinse the bowl, and I'm going to use it afterwards after the blending. So I will rinse it and then we'll continue. I drain the buckwheat. If I'm using chia seeds, I soak them with water in the meantime to make a chia gel. The original recipe calls for chia seeds with water, like jelly chia seeds that go into the batter, but I sometimes skip it because I want the bread to be more dry than spongy. It is pretty good with the chia seeds and it's a great nutritional boost, but this time I'm not using it. Just wanted to point that out. Into the blender I add salt, the chia gel if I'm using it, and enough water to reach the level of the buckwheat and a little more. I forgot to do this here, but if I'm skipping the chia, I'm adding a little less water so it doesn't rise above the buckwheat, otherwise the batter may become too thin. Blend for several minutes until completely smooth, scraping down any buckwheat stuck to the sides so everything gets fully incorporated. So now I'm pouring the batter back into the bowl and letting it ferment for at least 10 hours. It depends on where you live, what's the weather. If it's warm, it will ferment faster, and if it's cold, it can be even more than 20 hours until it will reach the stage we want. We want the batter to look more airy and foamy. It will rise a bit and it can develop a funny smell, like fishy smell. It shouldn't be too strong. If it is really repulsive, you should probably throw it away. And let's ferment. Hi there, so we're about 20 hours into the fermentation. In the meantime, I've turned the oven to 190 degrees Celsius on fan convection. If you want to use the conventional settings, so you're just gonna need to use warmer temperature, and what I like about the fan that it distributes the heat evenly, so the resulting would be more consistent. As I mentioned, my batter ended up thinner because I added water without using chia, and you can even see a layer of water on top. That's completely fine, it's part of the lactic fermentation process, and I simply stir it back in well. Now for the add-ins. Personally, I love loading this bread with lots of toppings both inside and on top. I add the larger ingredients directly into the batter, such as walnuts and hazelnuts, which I honestly can't do without. I also add oats, which helps strengthen the loaf and improve the texture. Feel free to experiment with the add-ins and use whatever you like, or simply make a plain loaf without any extras at all. It's entirely up to your preferences. I use 2 silicone loaf pans because, as I mentioned, I like my loaves in a Nordic style shape, and this way I don't need parchment paper. You can also use one taller loaf pan lined with parchment paper. For the topping, I mainly use seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, nigella seeds, and the one thing I never skip, flaky salt. I try to keep everything in a relatively thin layer and leave a little space for the bread to brown. Once all the toppings are on, I gently press them into the batter using the back of a spoon so they'll stay attached to the loaf and won't fall off after baking and slicing. I bake the bread in a preheated oven for about 1 hour and 30 minutes to 1 hour and 45 minutes, depending on your oven and the pan you're using. So I took out the breads from the oven after 90 minutes, and now I'm covering it with a towel. I'm letting them cool inside the mold on a cooling rack for an hour. And after an hour, I'm gonna take out the bread from the mold and let it cool for another at least 30 minutes before I'm slicing them. Cooling the bread is very important. If you're not in a hurry, I highly recommend letting it cool completely until you can really feel that it has fully set. During this time, keep it covered so it doesn't dry out. What I love most about this bread, aside from the fact that green buckwheat is a nutritional powerhouse and fermentation offers many benefits, is that it's genuinely one of the tastiest breads I've had. It holds its shape beautifully and perfectly meets my personal requirement for bread that tastes great when toasted. As for slicing, this isn't a conventional bread and it tends to dry out more quickly. That's why I stored it sliced in the freezer and simply thaw pieces as needed. Now let's taste. I got some vegan butter here and agave syrup. I'm obsessed about the nuts, the hazelnuts in particular. Oh. You can use the batter to make crackers or cut the baked bread into cubes and turn them into incredibly crispy, delicious croutons, especially when the loaf is packed with nuts and seeds. I have a few points you should take into consideration making this bread. First of all, as you saw, it takes time. You soak it and then you ferment. You shouldn't rush it because it's the natural process. The fermentation should do. I baked in 2 molds, so I have 2 loaves, but you can definitely use one high like bread tin. And after slicing the bread, I just put it in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer, and every time I want to eat it, I just get a few slices and put it in a toaster. This is, I think, the best way to eat it. I eat it every morning, and I'll show you tomorrow how. So you just have a lot of very healthy, rich bread for long time.
This bread is excellent for people with IBS and works wonderfully as an everyday bread, including during the low FODMAP diet. As someone with IBS, it's the only bread I can eat completely worry-free.
So this is it. This is my fermented buckwheat bread, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're gonna make it because it's one of the healthiest, nutrition dense bread you could possibly make or eat. So thank you for watching, and see you very soon. Bye bye.